ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामे नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारण जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा। I welcome each one of you. So, as discussed last time, from today we will start with the Bhagavad Gita, the important verses of Bhagavad Gita, and each class will discuss one shloka of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So today we'll start from Bhagavad Gita 1.1. So you can repeat after me. This is the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita. You can refer Bhagavad Gita if you have, and you can repeat after me. Many of you know this verse is very famous because this is the first verse. Everybody knows this verse. You can repeat after me. Dhritarashtra uvacha
धृतराष्ट्र उवाच
dharmakshetre kurukshetre
क्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे
समवेतायुत्सवः
तायुत्सव
मामकः पाण्डवश्चैव
पाण्डवस्यैव
किमकुर्वत सञ्जय.
कुर्वत सञ्जय।
Can somebody repeat?
धृतराष्ट्र उवाच
धृतराष्ट्र उवाच
धरम क्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे
कर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे
तायुत्सव
समवेतायुत्सवः
पाण्डवस्यैव
मामकाः पाण्डवश्चैव
कुर्वत
किमकुर्वत सञ्जय. Yes.
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे
धर्मक्षेत्रे
धर्मक्षेत्रे समवेतायुत्सव
समवेतायुत्सवः
मकाः। Can you repeat, Prabhuji?
मामकः पाण्डवश्चैव
मका पाण्डवश्चैव
किमकुर्वत सञ्जय.
कुरुवत सञ्जय।
Let us see word to word meaning. Dhritarashtra, King Dhritarashtra, Uvacha said, Dharma Kshetre in the place of pilgrimage, Kurukshetre in the place named Kurukshetra, Samaveta assembled, Yudhastavaha desiring to fight, Mamakaha my party, my sons, Pandavaha the sons of Pandu, Cha and Eva certainly, Kim what Akuruvata what did they do? Sanjaya, oh Sanjaya. Can somebody read the translation of this verse?
Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do?
Yes. So I will request all of you. This is a homework for after each class. You have to by heart this verse. Every week we are going to discuss one verse, and that particular verse you have to by heart, and you have to go through the perfect for your better understanding of this verse. So let us discuss this verse now. So this is the first verse of Bhagavad Gita, and interestingly, this verse is starting by who is the speaking? The person who is speaking is Dhritarashtra. Many times people ask this question. Bhagavad Gita is a song of God. This is a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. And then why the Bhagavad Gita is starting with the Dhritarashtra's words? So many people have this question. So let us discuss something about Dhritarashtra. So all of you know that Dhritarashtra was blind from his birth. There was a king named Shantanu Raja. He has two wives. The first wife was Ganga Devi. The second was Satyavati. From Ganga Devi, he begot the son that is called that was Devavrata. Later he known as Bhishma Dev. Then another wife Satyavati. From her, King Shantanu begot Dhritarashtra. Uh, Basically Vyasudev. Vyasudev was the son of Satyavati Devi before the marriage with Shantanu Maharaj. But after that, when there was no one to run the kingdom, so that time Satyavati, because these sons Vichitraveya and Chitrangad, both of them died not timely, untimely, because of some curse and some different situation. So there was nobody to run the kingdom, the famous kingdom. But that time, Mother Satyavati requested Vyasdeva because before her marriage with Shantanu Maharaj, Vyasdeva was born from the connection of Parashar. So that time, Vyasdeva was invited for begetting the children. So from the wives of Chitrangad and Vichitravirya, they begotten sons. The one son was Dhritarashtra and the other son was Pandu. But Dhritarashtra was blind from his birth. Therefore, the kingdom was supposed to be handed over to Dhritarashtra because he was the elder son. But because of his blindness, he was not qualified to become a king. Therefore, the kingdom was handed over to Pandu Maharaj. The very name Dhritarashtra says Dhrita means one who is very determined. For what? Dhrita Rashtra. Rashtra means kingdom. The person who is very determined to hold on to the kingdom. This is the literal meaning of word Dhritarashtra. And he was like that. He was very much attached to the kingdom. First time, his hope of becoming a king was destroyed because of blindness. And the later, when Pandu Maharaj died untimely, but with the help of demigods, Kunti Devi and Pandu Maharaj, they begot five children. And who was they? Can someone tell me the name of five Pandavas?
Nakul, Sahadev, Arjun, Yudhishthir, and Arjun.
So five sons of Pandu Maharaj and Kunti Devi and Madri Devi. So elder son was Yudhishthir Maharaj. So according to the rule, now till the time these children of Pandu Maharaj were very small, they are not qualified to become king because children can't understand the politics and the intricacies of the kingdom. So till that time, the kingdom was handed over to Dhritarashtra. For time being, till the time Pandavas are not grown up and they are not ready to take the charge of the kingdom. So again, the hope of becoming a king was destroyed because Dhritarashtra is thinking when the sons of Pandu became a grown up, then again they will claim the kingdom. So for that reason, he was very much partial, and we'll see the word comes in this shloka is Mamakaha Pandavaha. Mamaka means my sons, and Pandava means sons of Pandu. Here, this word Mamaka describe the mentality of Dhritarashtra. The separatist mentality. Although they were the sons of his own brother, he was saying, मामा का मेरे बच्चे और उसके बच्चे. So this mentality of separatist was there. And from the beginning of Pandava's life, there was again and again attempt to destroy the Pandavas. So Dhritarashtra, although Dhritarashtra is not a active villain of Mahabharata, but he was certainly a passive villain who had created the active villain of Mahabharata. Can somebody tell me who was the active villain of Mahabharata?
दुर्योधन, शकुनी,
Yes,
दुशासन,
yes,
ये सब.
yeah. But here the answer which I was expecting is Duryodhana because he is the son of Dhritarashtra. And when Dhritarashtra was having his first son, Duryodhana, that time there was a prophecy and there was very inauspicious omen all over the climate. And that time, Vidura, his own brother, the minister of a kingdom, he requested Dhritarashtra, this person, this son of yours is very, very inauspicious. And he is going to be the cause of destruction of our entire family. So better to give him up, reject this one son. You will have remaining 99 sons. But still, Dhritarashtra could not reject Duryodhana. He says, no, no, this is my first son. How can I reject him? Although there were many inauspicious omens. And it is said Duryodhana was a representative of Kali. So although Dhritarashtra was not an active villain, but he is the one who had created the Duryodhana. And his own ambitions of becoming king, he could not fulfill himself. Now he wanted to fulfill that ambitions through his son Duryodhana. And therefore, the Gita is starting with the words of Dhritarashtra to give us the message. So there are three people who heard Bhagavad Gita. Can somebody tell me who are the three people who heard the Bhagavad Gita?
एक तो अर्जुन ने, और संजय,
Definitely Arjun and Krishna. Arjuna heard Bhagavad Gita from Krishna. Who else heard Bhagavad Gita?
और संजय, संजय,
Yes, Sanjay also heard Bhagavad Gita. And another person was there.
धृतराष्ट्र.
Of course, very rightly you said. Dhritarashtra also heard Bhagavad Gita. But the reaction of these three people are totally different. So Arjuna says, previously when the war of Kurukshetra was about to begin, that time Arjuna was really confused. He was he was not knowing what should be I am doing, what should be my duty, whether I should fight or not. So Arjuna was confused, and that time he had give up his Gandiva bow, the famous Gandiva bow. He just gave up, and he was with his head in his hand. He was just about to cry. In such a great warrior, and now he's in this pathetic situation. So that time he was requesting Krishna. कार्पण्य दोषोपहत स्वभाव पृच्छामि त्वाम धर्म समूढ़ चेता ये श्रेयस निश्चित ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्ते हम शाधि माम त्वाम प्रपन्नम. Oh my dear Krishna, till the time we are having dialogue just like a friends because they were friends. But please, at these words, Krishna, Arjuna is requesting, please accept me as your disciple. Now, yeah, I am your disciple, and please instruct me. So previously, the dialogue between both of them were happening on the basis of friends. The relations of friendship. But at this point, the relation changes. One becomes a guru, and another becomes a disciple. And Arjuna is saying, Shistasteham Shadhi Mamtuam Prapanna. Tell me certainly what you will be Shreyskar for me. And after hearing the Bhagavad Gita, the same Arjuna is saying, what is the conclusion of Arjuna? Nashta moha smritir labdva tat prasadad maya chuto stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vajanam tava. All my doubts are now destroyed. Whatever moha illusion I was in, That is no more. Now I am ready. Whatever you tell me, I am ready to follow that. Tarishe vachanam tava. This was the response of Arjuna after hearing the Bhagavad Gita. What was the response of Sanjaya? When Sanjaya is narrating whole Bhagavad Gita to Dhritarashtra, his response, it is come in the end, 18th chapter, you can see that. He is saying, after hearing this samvad between Arjuna and Krishna, this is Adbhuta samvad. And by hearing this samvad, my hairs are standing on end. This is the response of Sanjaya. And what was the response of Dhritarashtra? Dhritarashtra remains the same Dhritarashtra. No change at all. Previously, before hearing the Bhagavad Gita, he was the person, and after the hearing whole Bhagavad Gita, he still remained the same Dhritarashtra, who was very much attached to his kingdom. So here we can learn wonderful lessons by the example of Dhritarashtra. How when we are attached to something, to somebody, our too much attachment can cause a problem. We can't see what is what. Dhritarashtra was clearly seeing that his son is always walking on the path of adharma. Although Pandavas were innocent from the beginning of their life, they are always following the path of dharma. They never did something wrong to somebody. Still, Duryodhana party and Kauravas, they were always enemies of them. And there were many, many incidents. You all know that. They tried to poison Bhima. They tried to burn all the Pandava along with their mother in the Lakshagraha. Then there were 12 years of Vanvas. Before that, there was gambling match, and everything from the Pandavas were taken away by that gambling match with that cheating, and they were sent to the exile for 12 years and 1 year of incognito, Agyatavas. So 1 year of incognito. And after doing everything, after going through everything, now the situation is there. And at the end, Krishna is going to the Hastinapur and he is requesting Duryodhana and Kaurava party because war is not beneficial to anybody. Whether somebody wins or somebody loses, war means destruction for both the parties, isn't it? तो युद्ध में सैनिक मरेंगे तो किसके मरेंगे? दोनों के मरेंगे. हानि किसकी होगी? दोनों की होगी. Therefore, Krishna himself went as a peace messenger and he proposed them at least give 5 villages to Pandavas because they are king and they're supposed to rule. It is their dharma, it is their duty to rule. So for ruling, they should have something to rule. So at least give 5 villages and you keep all other everything, whatever there in all Bharatvarsha, you keep everything for yourself. But still, Duryodhana says, I will not give a land which will stand on the tip of a needle. इतना भी भूमि में नहीं दूंगा. And therefore, the war was inevitable. And now we reach the point. The two parties, Kauravas and Pandavas, are now at the place of Kurukshetra. And this was the name is there, Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. So why this name Dharma Kshetra is there? So this shows the significance of this place called Kurukshetra. So this place Kurukshetra is called Dharma Kshetra because previously it is not that from the after the war this place became famous. No, before the war also this place of Kurukshetra are mentioned as Dharma Kshetra, means very very pious. And here Dhritarashtra is asking question: what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do? So this is one says very foolish question. Suppose now you are sitting here and at 7:30 after the our class is over, all of you will sat for the prasadam. And you are sitting on the prasadam hall, plate is in front of you, whatever breakfast menu that is in your plate, and somebody come and I'm asking you, Arey, what did all of you are sitting here. What is the purpose of sitting here? And what you people are going to do? It is obvious that you are sitting in the prasadam hall. Plate is in front of you. The hot prasadam is there in your plate. What is the next step? You are going to eat that, isn't it? Still, I am asking you, अरे आप लोग क्या करने वाले हैं अभी इसके बाद? So similarly here, Dhritarashtra is asking question, what did they do? They were there, both the parties were standing in front of each other to fight. And still, Dhritarashtra is asking, what did they do? So here, what is the reason behind asking this foolish question? The reason is Dhritarashtra was very fearful. Why? Because this place of Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, is a dharmic place. And every place there is a vibration. If you, many people, they says, when we come to the temple, we feel very peaceful. Because every place has a certain vibrations. If you are going to a very scenic place in the nature, there you will have different vibrations. If you are going to the movie theater, there have different vibrations, isn't it? Because every place carries certain vibrations. So this place was of Kurukshetra was known as a dharmic place, and because Pandavas were dharmic from their childhood, this place of Kurukshetra will influence Pandavas positively, isn't it? And the same place of Kurukshetra will also influence Kauravas. And because of this reason, Dhritarashtra was in anxiety. He was thinking, because Pandavas are dharmic, they are pious, they are righteous, they will get benefit by this dharmic land, Kurukshetra. And they might change the result, sorry, they might change their decision of heading the war. They might say, because it is dharmic land, they are dharmic, they might say, why we need to fight? Let us go to the forest. When about this war was about to happen, Dhritarashtra sends a letter to whom? Pandavas, especially to Yudhishthira. And what was written in that letter? Here also we can see the mentality of Dhritarashtra. So he is saying, my dear Yudhishthir and Pandavas, you all are righteous. From the beginning of your life, you had always followed the path of dharma. You never followed the path of adharma. And you know, my sons, they are like that only. So why you are fighting? Please don't fight. That means what he is saying, please give the kingdom to my sons. Because they are like that. वो तो नालायक ही है, लेकिन आप तो अच्छे हैं ना. आप क्यों ये झड़ाई लगड़े झड़ाई में पड़े? आप अच्छे हैं इसलिए आप ये सब छोड़ दो और मतलब हमेशा के लिए आप वन में ही रहो. स्पेशली दिस वाज द रिक्वेस्ट ऑफ Dhritarashtra before the war is happening. See the mentality of Dhritarashtra. But he was not ready to correct his own sons because of his excessive attachment to his own sons and excessive attachment to the Rashtra, Dhritarashtra. He was not ready to chastise, to correct his own sons, although he was saying they are clearly following the path of Dharma. So here, Dhritarashtra's anxiety, ki Pandavas may get influenced and they might say, let us not fight this war. And on the other hand, is also having hope. Because of this place of Dharma Kshetra, my sons, they might say, let us not have war. ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ ना कि इस धार्मिक क्षेत्र के प्रभाव से मेरे बच्चों ने युद्ध का निर्णय त्याग दिया. Because he was not ready for that. He want Yuddha. He want kingdom. And therefore, he was asking this question to Sanjaya. What did they do? ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ ना कि मेरे बच्चों ने बोल दिया कि let us not fight. बिकॉज ऑफ द इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ धार्मिक प्लेस। और पांडवों ने तो ऐसा नहीं बोल दिया ना, एंड ही वॉज होपिंग फॉर दैट कि पांडवा से अरे जाने दो, छोड़ देते, दे देते इनको राज्य, ऐसे राज्य में क्या रखा है, एक दिन तो सब कुछ छोड़ना ही है, लेट अस गिव अप द किंगडम, एंड ही वॉज होपिंग फॉर दैट। बट इमीडिएटली his hope were shattered because Sanjay is telling now Arjuna is confused, but he was going take shelter of Krishna. And when Krishna is there, something wrong would not take place. Especially with the Pandavas who are very, very righteous from the beginning of their life. So Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuva Sabaha Mamakaha Pandavashaiva Kima Kuruvata Sanjaya. So this is the first verse of Bhagavad Gita, and here we can see the separatist mentality of Dhritarashtra, and we can learn when we are attached to something, it will cause great damage to us. So becoming attached in this world is not unnatural. Everybody attached to something, but the amount of your the severity of our attachment depends. So being attached, it is not something bad, but we can see from uh, the example of Dhritarashtra. After he loses 100 sons in the battle of Kurukshetra, still he was not ready to leave the kingdom. You know, when the battle was happened, now Pandavas are kings. Still, he was living with the Pandavas. The same Pandavas, one point of time, he was trying to kill them. But now he was living on the food which was given by Pandavas. In the same palace, with the mercy of Pandavas, he is living. He was not ready to live. And that famous episode come in the Srimad Bhagavatam first canto. So Vidura, his own brother, when war was about to start, Vidura left the kingdom because Duryodhana insulted him that you are always siding Pandavas. You are eating our food, but you are always siding Pandavas. But this was not the true. The reality was Vidura was always speaking what is the truth. It was he was not siding the Pandavas. He was only siding Dharma. But Dhritarashtra could not tolerate this. Duryodhana could not tolerate this. And therefore he insulted his own uncle. And therefore Vidura left the kingdom. And after living there, he was roaming all over India, all over Bharatvarsha, visiting many, many holy places. And when he was roaming the holy places, he heard the news that now the Kurukshetra war is over. Pandavas were victorious and now they are heading the kingdom. But he was very unhappy. For one thing, he was very unhappy. What was that thing? He heard that Dhritarashtra, his own blind brother, he was still living in that palace. So he decided to go back. Who? Vidura decided to go back to the kingdom. Does he attach? He was attached to the kingdom. He was attached to the facilities of kingdom. No, his purpose was different. So when Vidura comes to the Hastinapur, Vidura, Yudhishthira and Pandavas, they became very happy because from childhood, he is the person who had protected them, just like a father protects his sons. In the absence of his own father, Pandavas were always protected by Vidura and Bhishma. So naturally, they have very much affection for Vidurji. So Vidurji comes, they becomes very happy, but nobody knows what is the purpose of Vidura's coming back. So one day, when there was nobody in the palace, Dhritarashtra was there alone. Vidura approaches Dhritarashtra. In that time, Vidura started scolding Dhritarashtra कि what kind of person you are. अरे किस तरह के व्यक्ति है आप? आपके 100 बच्चे युद्ध में मारे गए, लेकिन फिर भी आपको जीने की आशा है। अभी भी आप उन्हीं पांडवों के फेंके हुए टुकड़ों पे पल रहे हैं, जिनको आपने जीवन भर मारने का प्रयास किया। उन्हीं पांडवों के फेंके हुए टुकड़ों पे आप जीवन जीवन कर रहे हैं, जीवन यापन कर रहे हैं। बुढ़ापा आ गया है, आपकी सुनने की क्षमता कम हो गई है, आपका जठराग्नि मंद हो चुका है, लेकिन फिर भी आपको जीने की इतनी इच्छा है। लाइक दैट Vidura scolded Dhritarashtra, and that night Dhritarashtra decided to leave. And without telling anybody, not even to Sanjaya, his own secretary. So it was never happened that Dhritarashtra is going somewhere and he had not informed anybody. To his own secretary Sanjaya. And middle of the night, Dhritarashtra and his wife Gandhari, they left the kingdom, never to return. And next day, when the Pandavas they heard this news, they become very sad. Without telling anything, my uncle and mother they left me because Pandavas were dharmic. They never felt that Dhritarashtra is the cause of my our suffering. Whatever we went through, it is all because of Dhritarashtra. Although it is true, but Pandavas never felt like that, and they therefore they were always respectful to the Dhritarashtra. So this is the result of excessive attachment, we can say. Vidura always gave Dhritarashtra a good advice, but he never would follow that. When his attachment is shattered, his 100 sons were killed in the battle of Kurukshetra. Then the advice given by Vidura worked, and then he decided to leave. So from here also we can learn the lesson. If we are not listening to the advice of good people, if we are not listening the advice of Shastra, if we are not following the teachings of a Shastra, who are always telling us कि at one point of time we need to live, we need to practice leaving our attachment. And if we are not doing that, when there is a sudden call of detachment, we could not handle that. We can't handle that. It's like a Dhritarashtra we can see. When the war is over, and the Pandavas are coming. The victorious Pandavas now entering into the Hastinapur. And as a custom, everybody, all the kingly people, they have to be there to welcome them because they are victorious. They are the one who got victory in the battle. So there were Gandhari, Mother Kunti, Dhritarashtra, and all the kingly people, they were standing there. And as a custom, everybody was touching the feet of Dhritarashtra. So one by one, all the Pandavas, they were touching the feet of Dhritarashtra. Imagine, who were these people? They are the cause of killing their 100 sons, and especially Bhima. Because Bhima had taken a vow when that infamous episode took place in Mahabharata, when the Kaurava, especially Dushasana, tried to disrobe Mother Draupadi. That time Bhima had taken a vow that I will kill you, not only you, I will kill the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. And he followed his vow. He completed his vow in the battle of Kurukshetra. And how he killed Dushasana, who had touched the sari of Mother Draupadi. He had taken a vow that I will rip apart your chest and I will drink your blood. And for Duryodhana, for like that, for every Kaurava, he had taken a vow and he fulfilled his vow. So, especially Dhritarashtra having a much more anger toward Bhim. He is the person who had killed my 100 sons. Although he is a victorious, although he is a king now, although he is my own nephew, but he is the one who had killed my 100 sons. So there were a lot of anger So when Bhima was about to touch the feet of Dhritarashtra, Krishna says, "Wait a minute, hold on." And everybody was surprised. Why Krishna is stopping Bhima from touching the feet of Dhritarashtra? Dhritarashtra, forgive rest of the people. Arjuna, Yudhishthira, Nakul, Sahadev. But he could not forgive. He could not forgot. Here is the person who had rip apart the chest of Dushasana. So Krishna had made a statue who exactly looked like a Bhima, with exact size, with exact length and weight, a iron statue made of iron. And before Bhima, the actual Bhima could embrace and touch the feet of Dhritarashtra, Krishna says, "Let this uh, statue go in front." And because Dhritarashtra was blind and he was about to embrace that statue. And in his mind, Dhritarashtra is thinking, "Today I will take the revenge for all my sons." And he was thinking, when I'm going to embrace with this my arms, because he was very powerful. Just remember at this point of time, what must be the age of Dhritarashtra? He was an old person, but still he is thinking, when Bhima is going to embrace me, I am going to crush Bhima with this arm. And in this way, I am going to kill Bhima. And nobody knows this. Only Krishna knows what is the plan of Dhritarashtra, what he is thinking in his mind. And therefore, Krishna is moving that statue of iron in front of Dhritarashtra. And Dhritarashtra embraced that. And as he had decided, he, with his full strength, he crushed that statue, thinking that he is real Bhima. And immediately, that statue, iron statue, is broken. And immediately Dhritarashtra started lamenting. "Oh, my dear brother Pandu, please forgive me. I killed your son Bhima. I killed your son Bhima. Please forgive me." So these were not the real tears. These are called crocodile tears. Magarmachh ke aansu. His plan was to kill Bhima, but after killing, at least he was thinking that I had killed Bhima. But the reality was different. Bhima was standing. The actual Bhima was standing besides, and everybody saw. And that time Krishna understood, because throughout these 18 days he was hearing from Sanjaya, today this many sons are died. These many sons are died. And who was the cause? Bhima was the cause. And in this way, all that anger of the Dhritarashtra in his heart was went outside. And therefore, Krishna made this plan. So there are three kinds of blindness are discussed in this verse. The first blindness we saw, Dhritarashtra, that is physical blindness. He was blind physically, but we can see he was physically blind, but there was, he was internally also he was blind. He could not see what is right and what is wrong. Although there were plenty of people to advise him. Bhishma was there, Vidura was there, Vyasdev. Vyasdev is the Shaktavish avatar of Krishna. He was himself there, but still he could not understand the reality. The first kind of blindness is physical blindness. The second blindness, Duryodhana's blindness. Duryodhana was also blind, not physically, but because of his ambitions, his opinion about the Pandavas, which was very prejudicial. He has thought himself that Pandavas are the cause of my misfortune. Although he was in the midst of all fortune, still he was so much envious, and because of that thought, he was not happy. Although having all the facilities of kingdom, he was not less than a king. but still was unhappy because of his blindness of prejudicial. And the third blindness, Arjuna's blindness, but it was a circumstantial. So three kinds of blindness were there: the physical blindness of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana's blindness because of his envy, his irsha towards Pandavas, and the third kind of blindness was Arjuna's blindness, circumstantial. Arjuna was not blind, but because in this particular circumstances he was blind because of his particular situation in that time. Okay, so in this way we discussed the first shloka of Bhagavata and what we can learn from this shloka. The main lesson is attachment. We should not have excessive attachment because attachment is the inability to say no, whatever the cost may be. हमारी आसक्ति के कारण क्या होता है, हम जो सत्य है उसे देख नहीं पाते और जो सही डिसीजन है हमारे जीवन के लिए वो ले नहीं पाते. जिस तरह दुर्योधन धृतराष्ट्र कभी सही डिसीजन नहीं ले पाए. Although there were plenty of people to advise them, they could not hear the advice of Vidura. They could not hear the advice of Bhishma. They never heard the advice of Vasudeva and Krishna also. So from here also we can learn the second lesson, that we should hear the advice, especially those who are giving the advice for our own benefit. And if you are not going to hear, then who is the responsible? We are responsible, not others. We are responsible. Okay, so I will stop here. If anybody has any question, they can ask. So remember the homework for each week. You have to go through the purport of that verse, and also you have to buy heart the one shloka for 1 week. You have 7 days to buy heart, isn't it? I
Okay.
remember
Yes,
when we
yes.
are doing our VTA training, once Gauram Guru gave a class and he was quoting many verses in that class. So after the end of the class, I asked him question, Prabhuji, what is the secret of remembering so many verses? You know so many verses without any notebook. He just by heart. So many verses he was quoting in that lecture. And Prabhuji was saying, repetition is the key. I asked him, what is the formula of memorizing the shlokas? And what was the answer given by Gaurang Prabhu? Prabhuji says, repetition is the key. So therefore, we should know that repetition we have to do. Okay?
Guruji,
Yes,
can we
Prabhuji.
have means the remembrance of verse, then 108 verses of Bhagavad Gita. Can we repeat daily 108 Gita verses?
Sorry, Prabhu, I could not hear you properly. Unable to hear you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Audible it is?
Yeah, it is audible now. Yes,
Okay,
please.
Prabhuji. I was saying that we can recite the verses daily or this is 108 verses of Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, yes.
That important
You can,
verses. So by repetition, we can have that remembrance. That yes.
yes, yes, yes. Definitely, you can do that.
Mm.
But till the next class, that is on upcoming Tuesday, you need to
Yes.
memorize this one shloka what
The-
we discussed today. You have
Yes.
to read the purport of that.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare
Srimad Bhagavad Gita
Krishna.
ki jai.